Hi everyone, Magitek here, and I am bringing you a new video called Magitek Talks. Really what I want to do is kind of dive deep into certain topics that I bring up on my stream or on my Twitter, and I sometimes go onto like a long tangent about certain things, like nerdy things in my life that I'm really passionate about. And I just kind of wanted to bring that to my YouTube channel so I could make a more extended discussion about it on a YouTube video. So I thought that would be really cool and fun to talk about. Well, my first topic for this series, I don't actually know if this is going to be like a video series or anything, but the first thing I really want to talk about is my D&D characters. If you follow me on Twitter, Twitch, anything like that, Discord, I talk a lot about my D&D characters that I've created and a lot of the stories that are involved with them, the stuff that they get into, and honestly, my characters mean a lot to me, and I think it would be fun to share their stories with you guys, more of the ideas of how I created the character, what went into the inception of the character, and how I enjoy playing them. And I've seen other content creators do this kind of video where they talk about their characters, because every player knows that when you make a character, like, that character means a lot to you, and each character has their own special things about them that make them meaningful to you as a player. And so I thought it would be fun to just talk about that a little bit on my perspective and the characters I've created. So I have D&D Beyond open up right now, and all of my characters are saved on here. I didn't always use D&D Beyond. I used to, when I first played D&D, would print out character sheets and update that, but I've gotten so used to D&D Beyond now that it's really, really great and an easy way to keep track of your characters and everything like that. So let's go ahead and dive right into my D&D characters. So a side note, if you are a fan of the Witcher series, games, books, anything, you may recognize a lot of the character names that I've used for my characters. I will go ahead and say this now. I'm very unoriginal when it comes to character names, and I don't like to do like Google like generic elf names or cool elf names or something. I usually will draw inspiration from a character that's in like another universe. So if you notice that all of my character names happen to be Witcher characters, that's why. I'm sorry, CD Projekt Red. I stole all your names. But actually, that brings up one interesting topic I wanted to talk about before I dive into the characters, is that when I create a character, I usually have like an idea of a character in mind from another universe that I draw my inspiration from. I don't make like a carbon copy of like, oh, I'm gonna make Geralt of Rivia and I'm gonna just play Geralt of Rivia in my D&D universe. No, that's not what I do, but I might have an idea of Geralt of Rivia and he might be my base like idea of the character, and then I kind of build from there and have like maybe an aspect of Geralt in my character, and then I, you know, continue my own things and do my own thing. But, you know, I think that's okay to have, you know, everybody's different with what they use for inspiration to create a character. But for me specifically, I very much love so many different universes of characters in other games, books, movies, etc., that I love the characters in those worlds, that I want to bring part of them. They mean a lot to me, and I bring part of that into my character. So that's just kind of giving you an idea of what it goes for me when I'm creating a character. Side note, I just noticed, if you notice that I have this here, I got some henna tattoo this weekend. This is not a permanent tattoo or anything, so if you're like, what are these weird marks on Tracy right now? It's my henna tattoo. Yeah. So let's start with, I'm not going to go through all my characters, but we'll talk about the ones that I'm currently playing right now. So Meve. Meve is my human paladin, Oath of Devotion, that I am playing in our Ravnica campaign at work. So we are currently playing Guildmaster's Guide to Ravnica. It's really great universe, Magic the Gathering universe. I didn't know anything about the world of Magic the Gathering till I played this D&D campaign. And I feel like that's kind of the opposite of what a lot of people experienced. Maybe there's a lot of Magic players who kind of dabble in D&D, and so they might be playing a Ravnica campaign based off of like their love for Magic, but it's the opposite for me. Like, I love D&D and wasn't really into Magic that much, and then I played this Ravnica campaign, and now I'm very much into the Magic universe, and I started playing MTG Arena, and I'm like all about Magic now. I bought some Magic cards and everything. It's more that I just like the lore of the world. I'm not very good at the game itself. I just find the lore and the characters created in the universe very, very interesting. So Meve is my Paladin character, and she is she's very righteous, very typical Paladin type character that you would expect. She has a lot of the stereotypes of a paladin, but I think that she has a lot of issues that she has to work through as a character. She is part of the Boros Legion Guild. If you know anything about Magic Universe, the Boros, they are essentially like a military, and they work for the greater good, and they serve a lot of the higher ups in the Boros are all angelic, angels, and we serve the angels and we fight for the little people. It's all about being good. Honestly, there's a lot of corruption that could be involved with being in the Boros Legion, but ultimately they want to do things for the good of the city. And I really like, and yes, I always talk like this and put my hands on my hips, and all my fellow players hate it and want to kill me. But honestly, playing a paladin is fun. I like playing that very righteous, divine, looking to the gods, or looking to the angels of the Boros for my inspiration. I very much like that. It's a lot of fun. This is my first time playing a paladin, and I wanted to try it out. I actually really love being a more tanky character. I've learned that I love playing tanks in D&D. In a lot of RPG games that I've played in the past, I usually hate playing the role of tank, but I actually really like it in D&D. So yeah, she's really, really great. So, you'll notice in some of my characters also that I kind of do play a lot of the stereotypical roles that you would see in characters. If you see a lot of memes about paladins always being for truth and justice and things, and I made a character who's like that, and let's make jokes about, me not being original or anything like that. But she has some issues. She hangs around a crowd of people that a normal Boros Legion officer or soldier would not really be with. We have a Golgari swarm member of our group, and normally a Boros really wouldn't be seen with a Golgari, but I think her seeing other aspects of the world of Ravnica, or the guilds, seeing other guilds, it kind of opens her up to not just being like a soldier grunt working for the Boros and being kind of like a mindless soldier. She has her own personality and her own views and her own morals, but ultimately she's kind of for the greater good. The characters that I had in my head when I designed her was Brienne of Tarth from Game of Thrones. Very much a lot. She's not, never a carbon copy, not a carbon copy of Brienne of Tarth, but she has that same dedication and devotion that Brienne has. When she has an oath, when she has something she wants to do, she is sworn to it, and gosh darn it, she's gonna stand there waiting for Sansa to light that freaking beacon day in and day out. So that's what the kind of passion and devotion that I really strive for in this character. And I use the character, I also think a little bit about Queen Meve from the Witcher universe. A very honorable person, a very great character to look up to. So that's kind of the things that I had in mind when I was making Meve. Next up, what should we do next? Oh, Saskia. Okay, so I said I would only talk about characters that I've already, or that I'm currently playing, but I do want to talk just a little bit about Saskia because she's one of my favorite characters that I've ever played. She was my drow rogue that I played in our Curse of Strahd campaign that is now completed. We finished Curse of Strahd. It was an amazing... Can I just stop for a second and say Curse of Strahd was freaking amazing. If you have not played it, if you're into D&D, you love D&D, and you haven't played through that campaign, you really should look into making that one your next campaign, because it's really, really great. You don't have to wait for Halloween time to play it, though. Me and my party, we played it a little around Halloween time, but we played the campaign well after Halloween. It went all the way from October to like February, and it's really good. It's very dark. We originally went into Curse of Strahd with like a mindset of kind of goofing around. Like we call it Thirst of Strahd because we just wanted to go in and like bang Strahd or something. We when I first heard about Curse of Strahd and the cover, I look at Strahd von Zarovich and I'm like, I very much like thought Strahd was really attractive, and it's like, oh yeah, I'm going into this campaign like I want to bang Strahd or something. No, by the end of the campaign you will not love Strahd. You will hate him. You will hate him with everything in your soul and being, and that was me. I now hate Strahd von Zarovich. But playing a rogue, can we talk about playing rogues for a second, because I love it. Love it. Rogue is probably the favorite class that I've ever played so far, and I never thought something would be better than a bard, because bard will always be the OG for me. But I gotta say, playing a rogue is so much fun. Anybody who plays a rogue will agree. Playing a rogue is fun. Sneak attack, the whole shebang. I defeated a very strong character at the end that worked for Strahd. And I got this Scimitar of Speed, and Lord, let me tell you, like, Scimitar of Speed, I was all over that with my sneak attack, and just freaking loved it. I will say, having -2 in strength was a pain in the ass at times, and having no strength literally killed me once. But just in general, I love playing a rogue. A drow rogue that's so original again. But it's all about, like, for me, it's not about, like, I may make very stereotypical character class combos, or race class combos, but for me, it's about the enjoyment of it, and not really the fact that I'm playing something so stereotypical. I find a lot of enjoyment in this. And even though, I had an edgy drow rogue, like, it's still, she had her own things about her. She's not, for example, she was a worshiper of Elistrahi, not Lolth. The Elistrahi worshippers are not cool with Lolth worshippers. She didn't have that hatred and nastiness that a lot of drow have. She had her, a good heart at the end of the day, though she was not, she's a thief and has a lot of her own issues. So I think I really loved playing Saskia. Like, seriously, I want to bring her back. She actually didn't have the greatest ending in our Barovia Curse of Strahd campaign. Bad things happened, but if I could play her again, I would. And next, let's talk about Saris. Once again, I did name her Saris after Saris in The Witcher 3, who, again, is one of my favorite characters in The Witcher. And I don't know, I had this idea. I originally, when I created Saris, I did think about Saris from The Witcher 3, but I also had a little bit of Jon Snow in my brain, and a little bit of... Was it a little bit of Aragorn, but not that much? It was a little bit of a mix of those three characters. And again, like, I know they're very, like, heroic type characters. And I did create her. She's my human fighter, and I play her in a current campaign, our Waterdeep Dragon Heist campaign. So I started out with her being interested in joining the City Watch in Waterdeep, but a lot changed for this character. I think probably out of all of my characters, maybe my bard a little bit, Reila. She's kind of had like the weirdest growth as a character, where I had an idea in my mind for how I wanted to play Saris, and I feel like that changed a little bit as the campaign went on. She's definitely had a lot of changes, potentially in alignment, if we want to go by, you know, D&D terms. She had a lot of change in alignment and values, and what she wanted in the beginning toward what she wants now. So I originally started out with her wanting to be in the City Watch and, you know, doing things for the good of the city. For the good of the city and for, you know, the protection of the people. A little bit like my Paladin, but a little bit different. She's just a very good character. The thing is, she met some people who align themselves with Zentarum, though they're not the Zentarum in the D&D universe that you would know. They're called Doom Raiders. They are like good people, though they're like hired people that essentially will, if you hire them to do a job, they'll do it, and type thing. So at times it could be questionable things that she got herself involved with. And the Zentarum don't have a very good reputation in the city of Waterdeep, so she was kind of getting herself involved with the wrong crowd, but her heart was in the right place, that she wanted to do the right thing. She got involved with this group of people, and she did like good things. Like there was a killer, a drow like serial killer in the dock ward of Waterdeep, and one of the first missions was to find this guy, because the City Watch wasn't actually doing anything to help these serial killings that was happening. And so this group that I was working with essentially got some money. We took it into our own hands and decided to help, and we stopped the murderer, and I felt really good about myself. Like my character felt like she was doing a good thing, but ultimately it didn't stand with what I originally designed her for. Was she is working, like she wanted to be with the City Watch, doing, you know, being a police officer, and she's taking the law to her own hands, which technically isn't a good thing for somebody who wants to be in the City Watch. So ultimately that kind of tarnished her reputation a little bit, and a lot of other things. It started spiraling a bit, and we did more and more jobs where, you know, Saris is a fighter, and she is, again, the tough one of the group. We have a wizard and a bard, and I am the fighter. So I am the one that's doing a lot of the hitting, the hard hitting. I'm doing a lot of the final blows, and she started doing a lot of killing. And usually it's killing bad people, but my character became more and more like taking people out and killing them. And more recently, I find myself, when she's in a situation, it used to be like, we have to capture them and arrest them. But now, because I've been doing so much of the hard hitting, I want to just kill. I'm like almost getting a little bloodthirsty, and it's like, if we have a problem and we have bad people, I just want to take them out, kill them, take care of them. And that's like not what I started out the character to be. And other characters in the game have begun to notice this and be like, are you okay? And it started to change. You know, other things have kind of tainted the character and made her a little bit more not as happy-go-lucky, and a little bit more edgy, a little bit more, she had, you know, serious things going on. So anyway, I just find it really interesting that things don't always turn out the way you want them to in a D&D campaign, where you have an idea for a character and how you want to fully play them, and, you know, what their motivations are, and how quickly things can change. And I definitely think that is what happened with Saris, and she's still an active character. I'm still playing her, and I'm curious to see, you know, how some things will pan out. But ultimately, you know, I've been loving playing her, and I love playing a fighter also. I think I actually like playing a fighter more than I do a paladin. So if I ever in the future want to make like a tank character, or like more of a buff character, I think I would go with fighter. The type I'm playing, I forget what it is, a human fighter, battle master is what I'm playing, and I very much like it. I love the superiority dice and everything. People say that fighter is a little bit easier to play, and they're not wrong. It can be a bit easier, though, you know, keeping track of all of the different maneuvers that you get is almost like keeping track of spells. So it can be a little like you have to really, pay attention to the things that you can do. So that adds a challenge, but ultimately it is kind of easy. And finally, I wanted to talk about my pride and joy. My pride and joy. My first ever D&D character, my baby girl. Reila is my very first ever D&D character that I created about 2 years ago. And she's in our main campaign that we play at work. That is like a very long-running, intense campaign with many, many players. 2 separate groups that are in the same universe. And she is... Honestly, she's the favorite. If I had to say these are all my children, okay, I'll go ahead and say that Raela is the favorite. She's my first character, and, she really means a lot to me. Her story has had a lot of twists and turns throughout the years of playing her, and it's been a wild ride, and it's just been honestly a joy to see all of the things that my character has been through and how she's overcome them. And I've gotten all the way to level 19. I don't know how many of you who have played D&D have gotten to level 19, but that takes a lot. Like, if you saw, all my other characters, the highest I've played up to besides this was level 11, and then my other character who's level 12. Like, level 19 is a lot to get to. Highest, the level cap is 20, so she only has one more level to go before I meet like the max level of in like D&D 5e. So it's been a journey. To talk a little bit about her, she is a half-elf bard. When I first was talking with my coworkers about playing D&D, I knew a bit about it, but I had never played before, and I knew I wanted to play a bard. Bards always stuck out to me in like many other games. I'm very musically inclined myself, so I just wanted to play a bard. That's all I knew I wanted, and nothing else. I just was like, let me play a bard. And I do like playing a bard a lot. Because I've explored other classes now, when I first started playing D&D, I didn't think anything was better than a bard, because I loved the RP aspect of D&D. I loved going into a shop and charming a guy and getting a discount on, magical items, and, using my charisma to talk my way through situations. I just loved that. And I loved being a support to my party. I loved helping with different buffs and healing, and I really did like that. I wouldn't say that Bard is still my favorite class to play, but it is a lot of fun. I chose College of Lore, though honestly I was very close to choosing College of Glamour, and I kind of regret not doing College of Glamour, but College of Lore is really, really solid to play as a Bard. And there are other types of Bards, like Whispers. College of Whispers Bards is probably a really cool angle to go if you want to play a Bard. But I, took the very, generic. I always say that I'm so basic and generic. Good God. But I took, the generic route and chose College of Lore. But it's really solid, and I still recommend it to people. Going a little bit through Raela and her backstory, she started out in a small city that we started our homebrew campaign in. And she was very charming, a charming girl, half elf. Her mother had recently passed. I didn't know my father. Oh, so dramatic. Didn't know my father. There's a whole story about that, by the way. The things that happened with Raela and her father, and how she was reunited with him. And that could be a whole video in and of itself, which maybe I will one day go through that if people care enough. I've talked about it on my stream many times, but this is too much to even talk about in this video. But she, made a lot of friends in our journey, and I am now actually the highest level character in our campaign, because a lot of other players have had characters that have died or moved on and blah blah, and rolled new ones. But Raela has been around since day one, and since session 1, and so she's the highest level character in the campaign right now, and it's been pretty crazy playing level 19 Bard. I have Wish Spell, alright? You don't want to know the things I've wished with Wish Spell. You just don't even want to know. I wished one of our other players' memories away on accident. that was a thing, and then I had to give it back, and it didn't go well. And I want to show you what a level 19 bard, look at all these proficiencies. I have a 16 in persuasion, performance, 15 in perception. These things, like, I don't even, you could roll a 1, or no, maybe not a 1. You could roll a 2 and still do really, really well on persuasion. So it's just, like, there's no getting around being a persuasive bard at this point in time. She's been like always the charmer of the group and a bit of the flirt, though she is in a committed, stable relationship, let me tell you. But she always like can use her charms to kind of work her way and get things that we want. Like it's been really, really fun, all the interactions that we've all had as characters. She's sometimes a little unintentional with her words. I have Vicious Mockery as one of my cantrips, but we've kind of made it canon in our campaign that I sometimes unintentionally insult other players, and we say that that's me using Vicious Mockery and that I haven't really learned to control it fully in my early stages of life. I once like kind of made a racist remark toward our tiefling character, and I didn't mean to. Raela is like unintentionally racist towards things that aren't elves. She's a half elf herself, but she just like loves elves, much like me. It's so funny when I go from playing my fighter Saris to going to play Reila, my bard. It's like, oh gosh, I have to start thinking about spells again and how to go through all my spells and spell slots. It's playing a spellcaster, man. I've been playing so many non-spellcasting classes, and it's been funny to switch from one to the other. But yeah, so these are my characters and a little bit about them, talking a little bit about them. I could go on for so much longer about my characters and some of these stories and the things that brought me to create these characters, but that would make like another 5 hours of this video, and I don't think I want to pain you all through that. But if you did stay through and listen to these stories, I really, really appreciate that you did, and I hope you enjoyed it. If you have any questions or anything like that, feel free to ask in the comments below. It's been quite the journey with all of my characters. I do play in a lot of campaigns actively, and it's fun. It's really fun to explore all these different classes and go through, and I encourage people to do that. Like, don't just stick to one type of character that you like to play. Try something new, and it's been a lot of fun. So anyway, if you like this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up. I hope to talk more about these characters in the future, in future YouTube videos, and yeah, that's about it. I hope to catch you guys soon. Hope you continue to roll good dice in your campaigns or do well with your characters, and share a little bit about your characters too. I love to hear cool stories about people's characters and the stuff that they've experienced with different D&D characters, because Lord knows we all go through stories of characters dying or living through crazy stuff, so let me know below. Anyway, that's it for this video. I'm done blabbering on now. I will see y'all in the next video.